Creating and styling text links is quite simple, and this movie will show you how to do it. Since this is the largest and easiest for you to see, I'm going to make a couple of links in this H1 text. And so the first type of link I'm going to show you how to create is an absolute link.
I see where this is going.
And if you remember from that video and talking about it in class, that means you're going to navigate out of the current site and go to another site somewhere else in the internet. The second kind of link I'll show you how to make is a relative link, meaning that the link will take you to another location within the same website. And after we've done that, then I will show you how to style this in a different way. Okay, so I'm going to drag over the text in Design View that I would like to be the link. Now this first link is going to be the absolute link, so I need to get the address that I want this to navigate to. So I already have a web page open, which I will get to now. And here is where I want the link to go to. So again, absolute, it's going to go out to the internet, so I need the entire address. Now Firefox isn't showing me the HTTP:// but if I copy this whole thing, it will copy that as well. So I'm going to just mark it, and I'm going Command C. I will go back into Dreamweaver. All right, so with that type active, with the web address copied to my pasteboard, I can now click right in this window in the Properties window that says Link, and then very simply paste, Command V. I can hit the Enter key to execute that, and you will notice that all of a sudden this looks like a link. And so I'm going to go ahead and save this file. And then let's preview this in a browser. So I'll preview this in Firefox, and there we go. Now if I roll over this, you'll see that I get the little pointy hand, which tells me that this is a link, and if I click it, it will go to a location. So that is working. I'll hit the browser back button here. Now you'll notice that this is purple instead of the blue it showed me in Dreamweaver. So let's go back there. And why is that? Well, the default color for a visited link is purple. So remember what happens if you have a Google search page open, you click on one of the links, and then you come back to the search results. That link that was blue then turns purple. So that is the browser default for what a current link is and what a visited link is. Change that in just a minute. But first, let me show you how to create a relative link. So I'm going to mark this type right here, the and Y. And now this time, instead of going to a web page and copying the address, I need to navigate to the location in my site that I would like this to link to. So if I remember the file path off the top of my head, I can just type it in there, but I'd kind of prefer to browse to it. And so if I click on the little folder down here next to the link window, that will open up a window that will allow you to navigate to the page you would like it to link to. So I'm going to simply navigate to my index page, which will link to the home page of my website. Click Open, and then you will see the same thing happens. It turns it blue and puts a line underneath it. Now let's just look at the code for just a minute here, and let me change this to code view so it's a little easier to see. And down here you'll see in the H1 element there is now an anchor element. So if you remember, an anchor element is how links are created. And so there's the A, and then here's the attribute for the hypertext reference. And so this first one here is the absolute link, so we need the full web address. Now if I go over here, you'll see that here's the end of the first anchor tag, the beginning of the next anchor tag. This is a relative address, and it's explaining the position to the browser relative to its current location. So what's the ... // mean? Well, anytime you see a ... it means that you need to go out of the current directory.
Right.
So it's saying, please go out of the current directory, and then you're going to be in another directory and go out of that one too, and then navigate to the file called index. Okay, so let's go back to split view here and take a look at this. And I'll go ahead and save. And let's preview this again in Firefox. All right, so now both of these are purple because those are both locations I've been to already. But if I click on this, you'll see it will take me to my home page. All right, so both of those links are working. One is staying in my site, one is going outside of my site. So now let's get to styling this. How do we do it? Well, it's quite simple. We're going to go into the Page Properties window again. So click on the Page Properties button at the bottom. And then one of the tabs we haven't looked at yet is the Links tab, which is the third one down. And so these are called different link states. First one is link color. So that means that if you have a text link on the page, the text will be a particular color. Visited links. So this is the case where right now the default link color is blue. The default visited link color is purple. Now, if you don't have a very large site, I tend not to have the visited link color be different. I'd keep it the same. Active link, what does that mean? Well, that means when the user clicks on the link while the mouse button is down, it will change the color of the link. So I use that
Oh.
state even less often. I tend to keep all three of these the same usually, but that's a personal or subjective choice. The one state I always change, though, is the rollover or the hover state. This is because it's a visual clue to the user that this is absolutely a link. So when I roll over a text link, it will give me the pointy hand, but it will also change the color of the type so that I understand, yep, this is a link, and when I click on it, something will happen. So I'm not going to be too fancy here. I'm going to pick some colors. I'm going to go to the link color, click on that little box, and choose a color. So I'm just going to make everything be the same. I'll just make it be red. And then I'm just going to be lazy and copy and paste this hexadecimal number. Okay, so now those three colors are exactly the same, but I do want to give my rollover a different color attribute. So I'm going to click there, and I think I will remember how I feel about orange. I love it. So I'm going to choose an orange, very definitely different color. And there we go. All right, so I'm going to click OK. The color of the link changes. However, I'm noticing something else that I don't really like in a text link most of the time. And again, this is subjective. You do what you think is best. But I want to change that. I want to get rid of that outline. So I'm going to go back to that same Page Properties window. Go to Links. So down here at the bottom, you'll see something that says Underline Style. And right now it says Always Underline. And so if I drop that menu, you'll see the different choices you have. I'll end up choosing Never Underline, but you can choose to show underline only when the user rolls over the text link, or you can have an underline and then hide it when the user rolls over the text link. So I'm going to choose this, click OK, and there we go. And so let me save my file and then preview this again. And now you'll see that when I roll over this, it changes color. And when I click on it, the links will work. And you'll also notice that it stays red. So even though I visited those links, it doesn't change to a different color because I have made the visited link state be the same. All right, so last thing before we close, let's go back into the CSS rules and take a look at what the Page Properties window did for us. So it wrote these 4 new rules, and each one of these rules relates to the individual state I talked about. So this top one is saying that if something has been defined at a link, its color will be this, which is that dark red, and text decoration will be none. And so that means that the underline is removed.
Thank God.
And so the visited state, you'll notice, is exactly the same. The active state is exactly the same. But the hover state here has a different color, but it still has text decoration of none. The fact that Dreamweaver creates these rules for you is really great because these rules always have to appear in exactly this order or your links won't work. So anyway, that's it for this one. Next video is going to be about showing you how to create image links. So I'll see you there.